Hi, hello again. My name is Freddy, and welcome to my channel. And welcome again to another installment of my random video about books. Anyway, I just want to tell you that, okay, I just want to show this one thing. It's not really a big deal, but I just got The Story of a New Name by Elena Ferrante, and that means now I already have a continuation of My Brilliant Friend, and I don't feel so bad that I've bought this one, the third book, first. So I think that's really good. I'm not sure when I will be reading this one though, because I have so many things that I want to read. And especially now that I don't know why, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's the weather, or maybe it's the stars, or or maybe my own motivation or whatever. I'm not exactly sure, but these days I'm feeling a little bit more excited, a little bit more pumped to read more books. And of course, I would still have some days when I would feel like really down, and I don't, and I wouldn't feel like reading much. But those days are much, I would say, uh, less in terms of numbers. They're much sparse. So I'm really glad about that. Of course, the books that I'm currently reading are also more, and sometimes I am not really sure how to kind of like really just focus on one book. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing also because even though I'm reading multiple books at a time right now, and even though I'm actually, among all of those books that I'm currently reading, I'm actually also giving more focus on a few books. So my focus are not divided like equally distributed, but I still have certain focus on certain books, and I'm fine with that. I'm really fine with that. There are books that I would consider as currently reading, but they are just there in the background. So one of the books that I'm currently reading right now is a group read, which was organized by Leo, and this one was A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, and this is a thick book. We're going to read this over a period of a month. Another one that I'm reading is a buddy read with Kim from K. Becker's books. And this one is a short story collection by Annie Proulx. This is called Close Range, Wyoming Stories. And we are on our second week now. And I would expect we'll gonna have like 2 weeks more for this book, because there are altogether 11 stories in here. So we have read 6 stories so far. So those are the books that I'm currently reading with other individuals. Of course, I also have books that I picked myself because I just wanted to read them, and for some reason I just felt like reading Erica Jong's Fear of Dying, and um, I actually have a bit of a story regarding how I purchased this book and what kind of happened at the time. Basically, that was, I think, 2 years ago, and I was looking for Jung's another book, which was the more well-known Fear of Flying, and I was like, I went to the store, a different branch, but I went to that store once and I saw Fear of Flying, but I didn't buy it because I'm not sure why, but I think it's because I didn't bring enough money. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't get Fear of Flying the first time I saw it. But then I went to another branch of the same bookstore chain, and then I saw this book. But I thought that it was Fear of Flying. I didn't notice that it was a D here instead of FL. I thought it was Fear of Flying, and I was really excited. I took it right away from the shelf, and then I paid for it. But by the time I, you know, exited the store, I already have paid and everything and all that, I realized that it wasn't actually Fear of Flying. So I felt really cheated, and I was really disappointed. And instantly I just felt like some sort of I don't know, aversion for this book. I've not even read it. It was still wrapped. But, I was just so disappointed that I got the wrong book and I was pretty pissed at myself. But I guess a week or so after that, I went to the bookstore again. Or maybe it was a month after that. I can't really remember. I saw Fear of Flying again and then I bought it and then I read it. I read it fairly quickly and it was awesome and I really enjoyed it. And that was 2 years ago. And only now that I'm really got around to reading this book, I kind of forgot all of those bad feelings that I had for this book. And from the first few pages, this book is pretty good. It's not bad. uh, so yeah, I felt like the resentment, the anger that I felt towards this book, because I bought it by mistake, probably was a little bit misplaced, not so justified. So whenever I read this book, I would kind of be reminded of that. So yeah, next time if I buy a book wrongly, maybe I should, I don't know, refrain from being too mad. Anyway, this is a good book. So I'm also reading 4 books, but I actually gave them less focus. The first one was actually a buddy read that I used to have with Kim from Becker's Books, but we stopped reading this one as a buddy read. Instead, we read Annie Proulx's short story collection instead. This one was Susanna Clark, Jonathan Strange, and Mr. Norrell. Yeah, this is a really big book. Writing is nice. I guess the characters are nice too, but yeah, it's a really big book. And I think it requires some focus on this one. I feel like me reading this one at a much slower pace. Sometimes certain days I don't even read this because I'm reading something else instead. I'm not sure. It might not work well with how this book is. There are a lot of details in here, and I think that might not work very well because I have to, focus a lot on remembering the things that are happening in here, all the threads that are being slowly unraveled in here, and hopefully will be tied soon. But anyway, that's kind of like how I'm reading this book. In any case, I'm reading it for the atmosphere too, so it's not so bad, I guess. But yeah, it's slow. I am also reading this book, Restoration by Rose Tremaine. Again, bit in the background, not so much. Also, one that I actually read since, like, I don't know, 1 month ago, but also quite slow progress. Not a bad book by any means. This one is Gold Boy, Emerald Girl by Yiyun Lee. And then I also am reading, this one was actually something that I intend to read for Women in Translation Month in August, but I didn't finish all of the books that I wanted to. And so this one is I'll Be Right There by Kyung-Suk Shin, translated from the Korean by Sora Kim Russell. Now, talking about Women in Translation Month, okay, this book was actually my the fourth book that I set for my WIT TBR. I just finished the third book. And if you have seen my past videos, you would know what that book is. It's Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. Okay, this book is just delicious. I loved it so much. Okay, of course, there are certain parts in this book that feels kind of preachy. Yeah, it does feel preachy a little bit at certain places, but I would kind of attribute that to the characteristic of the personality of the narrator. I find the ending of this book is really, really wonderful. Even though it does feel like it's a little bit predictable, but I like it. I like the atmosphere very much. I like the way that the narrator talks in this book. I like the voice very much. So, Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. This book is just awesome. It's really good. I love it. I really enjoyed it. That's it. As for the books that I finished this past week, only one book, but it was really satisfying. It actually felt like, chewing mint, and you have that like really refreshing aftertaste in your mouth, and it was just so, I don't know, it's so satisfying. It's really great. I guess those are the things that I have so far in terms of my reading week, and I guess I'll see you again in a different video. I'm feeling kind of hungry now, so I'm just gonna have my dinner. So until then, see you and bye bye.